Story 1. Clean and declutter regularly. Either short bursts daily or a planned longer session on the weekend or day off. A neater environment generally makes me feel better. Plus, I am ready in case I get a female visitor. Story 2. When I lived alone, I would always buy large quantities of meat and individually portion it out before freezing when I got home. It is much cheaper that way, and then I could just make one hamburger or whatever when I was hungry. Bonus points if you flatten the bags so they thaw quickly. Story 3. Force yourself to leave the house. It is really easy to become a hermit when you have everything you need at home. Story 4. Larry David's one bowl, one knife, one spoon concept means having only one of each kitchen item. You have to hear the comedian explain it, but essentially, if that item is not clean, you have to wash it before you can use it. This teaches you to clean up after yourself and provides you with plenty of cabinet space. Story 5. Live close to your job and minimize your commute. Don't rent a large place. Get a studio and save the extra money. It doesn't affect your ability to socialize, trust me. Story 6. Don't become antisocial like me. I hate leaving the house for anything other than the gym or groceries. So, my tip is to maintain good relationships with people so they don't forget you exist. Story 7. Air fry taquitos and put a layer of frozen mozzarella sticks on top. Any spills from the mozzarella sticks will be caught by the taquitos for extra cheesy goodness. Story 8. The late newspaper columnist Mike Royko was divorced and said his system was that you can only go grocery shopping when you are completely out of food. If there is anything edible still in the apartment, you have to eat it before you go shopping. If that means that dinner is lentils and pistachio pudding, then that is what you are eating. This solves several problems. First, it keeps you from wasting food. Second, it teaches you not to buy things you do not actually want to eat. Third, it teaches you to plan ahead what you are going to eat this week and produce a sensible shopping list. Story 9. One-pot meals that will last several days. I will make 2.5 gallons of something like chicken and dumplings, chili, jambalaya, or similar dishes, enough to last until the next weekend so I do not have to cook a meal after work. Story 10. Use 1 mug for coffee or tea and 1 glass for water or juice. If I do not, all of a sudden there are 12 mugs and glasses in the sink. That mess builds up fast. Story 11. Minimize everything. Like others have said, minimize dishes. I meal prep and buy all my food in bulk. Beef, rice, eggs, and broccoli are all I cook and mostly all I eat. I have supplies for protein shakes in one cabinet. I buy other food occasionally if I feel like it, but mostly stick to those 4, plus lots of fruit that I snack on throughout the day. Clean daily, even just a little, and do a deep clean once a week. This prevents headaches and keeps bugs away. Enjoy it. Have a few things you like and enjoy your space, whether that is playing games, watching movies, or doing whatever you prefer. Also, buy plain white washcloths and use those repeatedly instead of paper towels. Story 12. Chris Rock had this bit about how after he got divorced, he started sleeping poorly and eventually realized it was because his pillowcases were filthy, and his wife was the only one who ever washed his sheets. So wash your sheets. Have 3 to 4 sets and set an alarm on your phone to change them every 2 weeks. Story 13. I bought an expensive robotic vacuum cleaner. It is a great help to be able to collect most of the debris while I am at work or busy at home. Story 14. Not single anymore, but something I started doing then and still do today is that if you clean a tiny little bit all the time, then your house is always clean and it very rarely becomes a daunting chore. Story 15. Assuming you are not a gym enthusiast, carefully plan your grocery order. This saves you time, space, and money by having food ready. Story 16. I lived alone for 16 years. When I got home, I would turn on the television but put the sound so low that I could not hear what they were saying, just to hear human voices. This was before the internet as well. Story 17. Master 3 dishes and slight variations of them. Cooking bulk dishes will save you thousands of dollars each year. Chili, vegetable korma, or salad wraps can be delicious, healthier, and cheaper if you set aside the time to make them yourself. Story 18. Any text after 8 p.m. is a waste of time unless sex or money is on the table. Everything else can wait until the next day. Story 19. Make sure one of the meals you have in a day requires some amount of idle time. which you can use to do random chores around the house, usually the dishes. The trick is to keep it short enough that you cannot fully complete a task, but not so long that you would rather just use your phone. For me, that looks like microwaving whole oats for 5 minutes on a medium setting while doing the dishes or wiping surfaces. This also works with boiling water and similar tasks. Story 20. Buy a smaller house than you can afford. Being house poor is a dreadful situation. Contribute fully to your retirement accounts and also invest in index funds. Learn how to cook. It is a valuable skill. Go to the gym 3 to 4 times per week for weight training, plus some cardio. If you are going to be alone, you do not want to be frail. Do plenty of stretching before and after workouts. Maintain social connections in real life. Have groups of friends. Avoid being someone who is constantly online. If possible, avoid intimate relationships with someone who is unstable. If not, always use protection. Invest in a good set of hair clippers and cut your own hair if you are willing and have a good head shape. Saves money, saves time, and never goes out of style. Story 21. Go to Costco and buy one of the 25-pound bags of rice. It is basically unlimited cheap food. Then just add simple items to make it a meal like eggs, tuna, curry, chicken, vegetables, or whatever. Story 22. 1. Get a dog. It is worth the inconvenience of being around someone who loves you unconditionally. Plus, dogs are great judges of character. Stay single if you want to live a peaceful life. Being in a relationship means compromising, chaos, and heartbreak. If you choose to date, make sure the person adds value to your life and is not a time drain or mentally exhausting. Really think about marriage. Would you open a business with a 57% failure rate the first time, and higher rates for each additional one? Marriage is not forever, but you lose the ability to manage the relationship independently, and so does your partner. If one of you accumulates debt, being married means you are both responsible, whereas being single means only one is responsible. If one of you gains a lot of weight, that is usually not preferable. Story 23. Do not live in your living room. Just keep it nice and clean and set for company. Live in your bedroom. Get a comfortable chair, a television, and anything else you need. That way you are always ready for company and can just shut your bedroom door. Story 24. Invest in a decent multi-compartment laundry basket. I have one with 3 compartments for blacks, whites, and colors, and towels. When I am doing laundry, I can just grab everything from one compartment and put it in the washing machine. No additional sorting is required. Very easy. Story 25. Anytime there is a big snowstorm coming, instead of stocking up on milk, eggs, and bread, I just order a couple of pizzas. Story 26. Clean a little bit of your shower every few times you shower. I have a stall-type standalone shower, so especially once it starts warming up in the spring and summer, I use a scrub brush or microfiber pad with some type of cleaning supply. I pick one tool to use each time. This keeps the shower consistently clean. Story 27. It's about habit, not motivation. This applies to everything from fitness to cleanliness to cooking. If you rely on motivation to get things done, you will have huge swings in productivity. But build habit and with it momentum, and you will have structure in your life that will make it much easier to stay on top of things. Not so much a life hack as it is a life insight, I suppose. Story 28. I don't know if this is healthy, but when I lived alone, sometimes I would cook curry once and deep freeze it for the entire week. When I am hungry, I just microwave it and eat. Story 29. I lived alone for a year in a 1-bedroom apartment in a 4-bedroom plus 1 living room in Chicago. I was rarely there. I had no furniture except a bed and a lamp. It was a blast. Story 30. Leave your apartment often, even if you do not want to. It is easy to skip activities and become too comfortable staying home. Eventually, you get stuck in that rut and start losing your social circle. Story 31. Want a salad? Buy a small iceberg lettuce. Hit the stem on the counter and pull out the core. Pour in salad dressing. Eat it like an apple. Story 32. Leave no wake. When you use a plate, rinse it afterwards and put it back in the press. It takes 45 seconds and keeps your place clean and tidy. Similarly, don't leave shoes, socks, an iPad on your coffee table, a coffee mug on your countertop, a jacket on your sofa, or old waste in your toilet. Always flush. The waste really lands the message home. Story 33. The meal preparation comments are accurate, but I will also add that it is worth having a few microwave meals in the freezer for when you do not feel like having the same meal 4 or 5 times in a row. Story 34. I had a roommate for 2 years, but he was hardly ever home. Keep busy, always have something to do. Gym, maintenance, cleans, visit family, plan and do your grocery shopping, study something you are interested in. That way, when you settle down to watch a movie or something, you feel fulfilled from the day. Otherwise, the apartment gets really quiet and creepy. Story 35. Forget meal prepping. Just cook for 2. I make nice dinners and take leftovers for lunch. Oatmeal for breakfast. Story 36. My dirty clothes go directly into the washing machine every day. No laundry basket is needed. When it is full, it gets washed and dried. I never have more than 1 load of laundry to fold and put away. Story 37. I used to work long hours, so I would throw my construction clothes in the shower with me instead of using the washing machine. Then I would just toss them in the dryer and go to bed. Story 38. Some tips from when I lived alone. Prepare 3 to 4 days of dinner in advance so you do not have to think about meals after work. Clean as you go. There is nothing worse than eating and then needing to clean. Make your bed right after getting up. Clean your apartment or house weekly to prevent things from accumulating and creating a long cleaning process. Story 39. No one recommended this yet. Bachelor home companion practical keeping. Story 40. Short on time and need to eat? Make a sandwich in your mouth over the sink. Quick food down and no cleanup other than washing your hands. Story 41. In times of crisis, your bathtub will double as a washing machine, mopping bucket, dishwasher, and more. The downside is that your bathing routine is sometimes interrupted by pots, pans, harnesses, and a few of last night's socks. Story 42. Making my own salad with lettuce, iceberg or romaine, tomato, onion, bell peppers, black pepper, and any seasoning from the dollar store. Protein is easy to prepare, such as chicken, beef, or seafood, whichever you prefer. For dressing, use your own taste preferences. This meal costs less than $20, and you can do this with rice too. A filler meal like this is healthier than ramen. Story 43. Learn to cook, starting with beans and rice, then moving on to more dedicated dishes. Cook meals that you can freeze and later heat in the microwave to eat anytime. Always prepare food at least 3 days a week or whenever you have time, and leave it ready to eat. This will be healthier and cheaper than buying fast food. Story 44. Get flavorless protein powder and add your own cocoa powder or vanilla extract. Always buy a bit more non-perishable or freezer foods at the grocery store than you need. Story 45. Travel for work now, and I have my own space everywhere I go, so I can do and be as wild as I want when I want. No roommates, no trying to be quiet, just my own space. And when the ladies come over, we are intimate like no one is around because no one is around. Of course, the peace and quiet and having your own space is so nice. Story 46. At one point, when I was younger, I found the filthy bachelor frog memes funny, but then I realized they depicted things I should not be doing. Story 47. Have 1 bowl, 1 spoon, 1 fork, 1 knife, and so on. Even on the worst day, when everything in the kitchen is dirty and piled in the sink, it is still only about a 5-minute problem. Story 48. I can save money by tolerating nonsense. The heater and air conditioning are off until I can no longer tolerate it. The water heater is set to 120 degrees. This saves on gas and electricity. There is no one to complain but myself. Story 49. If there is anything you should always have in your refrigerator or pantry, it is ground beef, eggs, rice, and any green vegetable. You can always have a complete meal. Story 50. I have friends who live with roommates. They use a chore wheel to distribute the tasks evenly. As a bachelor, I can do the same thing just with half-week intervals. The bathroom is cleaned every 2 weeks, vacuuming is done, and a flat surface is cleaned every 2 weeks. I am alone, so the mess is small, but it is a good reminder. Story 51. I more or less eat the same thing 90% of the time. It is so nice to not have to think too hard about what to make for dinner. Story 52. Do not procrastinate. This is different from waiting for the right time, as I often remind myself. Story 53. Grocery delivery. I plan it out for my days off. I schedule the delivery time for about an hour after I plan on waking and have all of my groceries for the week delivered to my door. I hate grocery shopping, and I will gladly tip someone $10 to avoid driving back and forth to the store and shopping myself. Delivery is free when I spend $40 or more. Story 54. Small one for me. Learn to drink coffee black. I used to waste a lot of milk, and it tastes better too. Story 55. The cleaner you keep your place, the less time you will need to spend cleaning it. Don't go to bed with a dirty kitchen. Always buy new toilet paper when you have 3 rolls left. Always buy 2 shower gels or bars of soap because you won't remember to buy it once it runs out. Deep clean your house every 2 weeks or so. Change your bed sheets regularly. Get some low-maintenance plants. Having life around your apartment or house always gives it a happier vibe. Your guests will also appreciate it. Learn what the fuses in your fuse box are connected to. Get a good set of chef knives. It will save you a lot of prep time in the long run. On Black Friday, look for sales on high-end vacuum cleaners. If you're over 22 years old, remove any suggestive posters of women. Not the most traditionally masculine advice, but get yourself some scented candles. When your house smells nice, you will want to spend time relaxing in it. Get an actual laundry basket. Don't listen to those who say otherwise. Learn to iron and fold fitted sheets. You will struggle at first, but eventually you will improve. When ironing, don't fight the fabric. Let it do its thing. Keep an eye on the state of your shower drain. Clean it regularly so you don't have to deal with buildup. You can manage it even if the first time is unpleasant. Story 56. My bachelor brain remembers this advice every few months. Don't put it down, put it away. One of my best purchases in years was a chest of drawers for the stuff that didn't have storage. So, extended edition, own less stuff, buy more storage so everything has a place, and then don't put it down, put it away. Story 57. Add 2 eggs to ramen noodles. It is delicious and filling. Remove the yolk if you want to make it healthier. Story 58. Tidy regularly, not just once a month when the place gets messy. Tidy as you go with small tasks. If something doesn't belong in your room, take it downstairs and put it away. You are not done cooking until you have tidied up, not after making or eating the food, but after cleaning and putting everything away. This habit has done wonders for my mental health, and I am not ashamed to have guests over because last week's curry is not left festering on the kitchen counter. Story 59. Sit to urinate. For the love of God, what possible advantage do you have standing up? You only create a mess for yourself to clean up. Story 60. Laundry hamper with compartments for darks, lights, and colors. Not having to sort laundry before putting it in the wash is a great convenience. Story 61. Learn to romanticize your routines. Light a candle while eating instant noodles. Play jazz while folding laundry. And keep your space clean enough that your future self feels respected. Bachelor life is not about survival. It is about building quiet mastery over your domain. This is just my opinion. Good luck. Story 62. To maintain my mental well-being, I talk to as many friends as possible throughout the day and ensure I stay busy. Story 63. Married, but with no children, and my wife frequently travels. For dinner, I typically stand and eat over the kitchen sink while looking out our window. I clean up quickly afterward, which prevents me from leaving my bowl and plate in the living room. Story 64. 1. Get a dog. It is worth the inconvenience of being around someone who loves you unconditionally. Plus, they are great judges of character. Stay single if you want to live a calm life. Being in a relationship means compromising, chaos, and heartbreak. If you choose to date, make sure the person adds value to your life and is not a time sink or mentally draining. Really think about marriage. Would you open a business with a 57% failure rate the first time? with the rate worsening for each additional one. Marriage is not forever, but you lose some control over managing the relationship, and so does your partner. If one person racks up debt, marriage means both are responsible, while being single means only one is responsible. If one person gains a lot of weight, that is usually not preferable. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.